Good morning readers. I, Harish Budhu, warmly welcome you to my channel. Learn as much as possible from my handwritten articles.
This October 15, 2020 opinion paper. Both Dr. Siddick Cheddy and Dr. Rashid Beebeejaun liberated the Muslim community from the ghetto of the movement militant Mauritian, as from 1995. Though late, the exploited Creole community now realizing they have been abused. Father Gregoire should help the exploited community rise and liberate themselves. 1. You are now reading the second part of the new series of opinion papers, on the reasons why we should all help the struggling disadvantaged and exploited section of the Mauritian nation, the Creole community. Welcome. 2. Whilst reading, keep in mind the following points. A. Today's paper is but a follow-up to all those written previously on the Catholic Church and the concerted exploitation of that underprivileged community. B. We are not economical with the truth, we call a spade, we are not diplomatic in our approach, we paint the picture as it is, we present the plain though painful whole truth, we are not attached to any politician or political party, we are not running around after their attention, sympathies, or votes, etc. C. The main aim of these views is, to raise awareness on their worsening situation, to force the hands of the authorities and Father Jocelyn Gregoire to act swiftly, to help wake up the thinking Creole leaders, just to share some of my personal and first-hand experiences and to suggest some of my own ideas, short and long-term plans to help them rise and stand on their own feet. D. History tells us that sooner or later the Paul Berenger mercenary journalists and remnants of 1960s party militant socially-democrate, will attack me. They have been the real enemies of the Creole community. They have never forcefully denounced the discrimination, widespread, based on skin color and social class. And that inside the church, movement militant Mauritian, party militant socially-democrate, private sector, and their own press. A Creole has never become the number one of the Catholic Church. A Creole has never been the editor-in-chief of the three main newspapers. One has not appointed anyone because the acting senior-most journalist is a Creole. From 1950s to 1969 the papers were with Gaëtan Duval. Thereafter, they are following Paul Berenger blindly, like his shadow. Have you realized why all of them are now attacking Father Jocelyn Gregoire? All said, they have destroyed the Creole community, by slavishly following the private sector, Catholic Church, Gaëtan Duval, and then Paul Berenger. And then, here is what history says. In 1983, I gave up my post of Deputy Prime Minister in favor of Gaëtan Duval. Come 2003. Paul Berenger became Prime Minister thanks to me. Remember how I had cemented the militant socialist movement militant Mauritian 2000 alliance, to save the country, after the 1999 racial unrest. So, both were close to me. But I have always spoken the bitter truth when it comes to defending the best interests of the Creole community. I should not worry about the anti-Harish feelings of Paul Berenger and Xavier Duval. For both, the welfare of the Creoles means first and foremost that of their own close relatives. And see their logic, if they are happy, all the Creole should discroit, be more than happy. And just see around. How many Creoles of the housing estates are the front-line leaders? Where are the symbols? 3. Against that background, we now come to some other logical reasonable explanations, and that even if we have already covered, adequately, a vast range of areas in the above opening paragraphs. The following explanatory notes do not indicate any order of chronology or priority. A. Refer to the last paragraph of page 10 of yesterday. We had briefly mentioned that the real economic development of the Muslim community came when Dr. Siddick Cheddy was elected in Plain Verte in 1995 and was appointed minister. That development picked up speed in 2005 when Dr. Rashid Beebeejaun was promoted deputy prime minister. Promotions and nominations of fully deserving Muslim intellectuals, sent a very strong signal to the whole community. They became symbols of pride, joy, and role model. They were all purely symbolic. It is so all across the world. No wonder, Muslims now owe allegiance to Navin Ramgoolam, and they have deserted Paul Berenger en masse. B. And forget the personality of Dr. Cheddy or that of Dr. Beebeejaun. We are talking of historical facts only. For 36 years, since 1969, the movement militant Mauritian had kept Muslims in a ghetto, based and fed on hatred and fear of Hindus. There is no denying. See, though late, the overwhelming majority of the Creole community have now woken up to follow in the footsteps of the forward-looking Muslims. They now refuse to be ghettoized by Berenger. Fear and hatred of Hindus were but a plot, nay, a political ploy, to win votes. And now, the savior, the redeemer, the liberator or the knight in shining armor happens to be Father Jocelyn Gregoire. It is so. Like him or dislike him, he is hurting Josie. However, there is a big but, with capital letters. The priest should not be a king Creole. He should not be a political wholesaler. He should rather utilize any prime minister in power, force him to help and save. To create incentives. To help them to rise and stand on their own feet. En passant, Joe Les Jongard is a real symbol. He should have been deputy prime minister. Read the last part tomorrow. Share article.
Keep reading, keep learning. Like and subscribe for more thrilling articles. Thank you for watching.